Here is track 2 nearing completion. I thought this would be a great time to say a few words about the processes that I've used, the materials, and the people who I have consulted. So first we'll just take a walk around. The outer track is about 65 feet long. The inner track I haven't measured yet, but it's going to end up being around 45 feet, I suspect. So the process I used here was 2x6s floating. Nothing's dug in, nothing's buried. Things sit on little platforms, and most of them, like this one here, have a patio stone underneath. There's generally about an inch of crushed gravel underneath that, no big deal. And then a secondary piece of 2x6, which I call a joiner, that is screwed from the top to join the two pieces of wood together. So with this technique you end up with a fairly economical and very robust system. Here's a pier. That's my terminology, I call that a pier. So these piers, you can see that one isn't even sitting square on the stone. It really doesn't much matter. It has a base and a riser section and a joiner on top. It's pretty easy to size these things to get them right, but what's really nice is you can use what I'm calling a jack screw. So in various places I have screws where I use to adjust the height and also a little bit adjust the pitch. So the 2x6s, they're all cut on a miter saw at angles that were never pre-calculated. This whole thing is really pretty organic. I took some green gardening sticks, like that one there, and roughly laid out what I wanted. And then I just kind of went with it, making cuts where I needed to and adjusting them all along the way. The boards are stained in an exterior black paint from Lowe's. I'm not sure what it was. I think it's some kind of a roofing product. Pretty economical, and I was pretty careful to stain the end grain because I really don't want any warpage that I don't need. So I think that this is all going to work out pretty well. So these tracks are level. The ground here, walking away, give you a different view of the whole thing, like this. The ground had a serious slope to it. I said in an earlier video how I spent part of my summer with a pickaxe taking out this small hill, putting in that retaining wall up there, and then a small wall down here as well. So the track has the appearance of going up and down, but actually it's not. It's relatively level. So the track itself is nickel-plated brass from Train Lee in Reno, and Joanne there is an awesome resource, and at the moment I think quite highly of this product. Very easy to use. I also bought the rail bender, which is this fancy device here. So with this you have an adjustment that's moving some bearings on the bottom in and out, and when you roll this thing back and forth on the track, as you tighten it up, it gradually puts a bend in the track. It works pretty nice. I mean, honestly, it was kind of fun. The other thing I bought from them is this little device here that keeps the ends of the rails from shifting. I think they call it Keep It Straight or Keep It Parallel, something like that. It's a handy little device to have. And then I also bought their track couplers. Sorry for wandering around. I found these to be pretty good. So the outer track's been in for several weeks, and it's got some sawdust on over here because I put my miter saw in the center of this area, and I'll just rake the dirt and make all the sawdust go away. So it was just easy, but I got sawdust on my track over there. We put in some plants along the first track because we were just so anxious to see something look halfway nice. So in order to finish this up, I'm not going to actually film that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that rail bender, I'm going to run it along here and round off that track a little bit. As I do that, one rail gets longer, the other gets shorter, and I prefer to use a Dremel tool. So I'm using this Dremel tool to cut the excess rail off. I find that works very easy. As I go, I drill holes in the ties and put in some stainless, definitely not zinc, some stainless screws to hold the track down here and there. There's a couple other little tidbits. I like to 3D print things. So I made these little plastic washers to put, you can hardly see that, to put on between the screw and the tie. It doesn't really do a lot, but it's kind of nice. But really neater than that, I made these little guys here that I can slip underneath the end of a tie, and that will help me fix any pitch problems I have with my roadbed. And it's really, really pretty easy. So there we have it. Let me back up. I'm super excited to have 2 tracks ready to go before winter hits, and it'll be a fun winter thinking about landscaping and buildings, and certainly there will be at least one more track, something with a smaller turn radius, and where there's that leftover pile of dirt, there might just be a mountain. It kind of is inspiring. So that's all I have for today. Stay tuned for more.